Yes. Okay. So in algebra, the steepness of a line, like those lines that you graphed yesterday, did you notice they had different steepness? In algebra, that's a very, very important thing, how steep a line is. So we say rate of change is the change in y over the change in x, and it's also the rise over the run. Just like these things I drew here, right? One hill versus another hill. Basically, how high you're going over a horizontal distance. Okay, so take a look here. What is the steepness of this line? What is the rise over the run of this line, right? To do this, here is what we do. We choose 2 points on the line, right? But now, the wisest points to choose are ones that are at the corners of the grid lines, okay? So choose points on corners of grid lines. So for example, look at this. This is a good point to pick here, right? That's right on the grid line. And then another one is here. And now you have to ask yourself, how do you go from point A to point B? Now, here's what's super, super important. Between A and B, which point is further to the left? Yeah, A is further to the left. So I start from A and go to B, okay? So go from left to right. Because if you go in the opposite direction, your sign will be different. So let's think about how much you go up, right? You go up 1. How much are we going to go over? 1, 2, 3, 4. Right 4. So now, every time you go up, that's a positive. Every time you go down, that's a negative. This gives you the rise. So the rise is whether you go up or you go down. The run is whether you go right or left. Right is positive, left is negative. Okay? So now, here, the rise over the run for this one is, I went up 1, up is positive 1. I went right 4, right is positive 4. So the rise over the run is 1/4. Okay? So it's basically, how do I go from 1 to the second? All right? Here. Take a look at this. Now we have a table. No longer, what do you call it? A graph. The table shows the area changes with the number of floor tiles. So the more floor tiles you have, the bigger area you have, right? So here's what we're going to do. You have X and you have Y. Between X and Y, which one is the horizontal and which one is the vertical? Yeah. Y is the vertical, right? Because it's the X and the Y axis. It's like the X and the Y axis. So Y is the vertical, that's the rise. Okay. And this is the run. That's the horizontal. So now, here's what you do. These numbers represent the run. From each one of these to the other, how much difference is there? Like, how much does the number change? 3. Does it increase by 3 or decrease by 3? It increases by 3. So we say the run is positive 3. Okay? So because from here to here, it's plus 3. From here to here, it's plus 3. I say the run is plus 3. Okay? What about the rise? From here to here, it's plus how many? Well, you can use your calculator. How would you figure out how much it's increasing by? 96 minus 48. What will that be? 48. And from here to here, how much is it? Also 48. So those should be the same, right? So if it's plus 3, it should be plus 3. If it's plus 48, it'll be plus 48. Yeah, it'll be like equal. So the rise is plus 48. So now I can do the rise over the run here. Part A says, find the rate of change. Well, this is the rise over the run, and that's positive 3 over positive 48. Now, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, you're right. Oh wow, thank you, Yahav. Way to go. So, now can we simplify this? Because it's got to be the rise over the run, and we said it's the rise over the run. The rise over the run. So now, can we simplify this? We can divide top and bottom by 3. So this will be 16 over 1. Now, let's talk about units. Let's talk about units. Here, for the rise, the units are square inches. So that's inches squared. And then the run is how many tiles? So it's tile. Okay, so the unit is that. So that is the rate of change. Yeah. Now, explain the meaning of rate of change. Explain the meaning of rate of change. So this is telling you that the area is increasing 16 when they get back.
I don't know why it's interesting. Wait, how is it 16? No, you just reduce it. Oh,
this one you reduce it at 16. Now, listen, in your chart, for the area, it tells you that it's square inches. So that's the rise, right? That's the one on top, so you say inches squared. This is the number of tiles, so it's the tile. So what this means is the area is increasing 16 inches squared per 1 tile. Right, yeah. Now, almost, yeah, almost. It's the M in MX plus B. Yeah. Okay. So we found slope in 2 ways so far. First off of a graph, then off of a table. What if you have coordinates? So here we go. The slope, okay, we said is the rise over the run. So the way you can find it is here. This is the formula. The slope m of a non-vertical line is this. So suppose you have 2 points, x1, y1. Now, look at this notation here. It's x subscript 1, right? These are called subscripts. So we read this x sub 1, right? And y sub 1. And then x sub 2 and y sub 2. When I have 2 coordinate points, here is the formula for slope. This is it. Now, you have to memorize this. All right? Let's see what it says. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, right? y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, the order is extremely important. Order matters. So now, you could also say, suppose you messed up and you did m equals y1 minus y2, right? If you messed that up, if you did these in reverse, it's okay as long as you do the x's in the same order. x1 minus x2, right? Well, no. What matters is if it starts with a 2 on top, it starts with a 2 on the bottom. If it starts with a 1 on top, it starts with the 1 on the bottom.
So you just have to make it.
If you switch one and not the other, right. You just have to make it the same. Okay. Correct. Normally we always do, x2, x1. Okay. So I have 2 points here. I want to find the slope. All right. And then I'm going to graph them. So here's what we're going to do. I label this one x1, y1. And I label this one x2, y2. This is important. If you mess this up, if you did x1, y2, x2, y1, then it's already wrong. Okay? Now that you have that, the formula, right, is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You just plug them in. You find y2, 8, minus y1, 6, y2 minus y1. And then we're going to do x2 minus x1. So now, in the top, I get 8 minus 6, 2.
Do you not write the.
On the bottom, I get 1. Huh?
Should you not write like next to the numbers
Okay.
like 1 and 2? No? Should you not write next to the numbers like 1 and 2?
Here, these numbers?
Yeah.
No. Because you put in x1, that's 3 and so on.
So you should just know which one.
Right.
is that.
I label them here and then I just put them in. Now, when we deal with slope, it's okay if you leave it as 2 over 1, 16 over 1, and so on, right? So that reminds you to go over 1. Now, how are we going to graph this? Right, but first let's put in one of the points. When x is 3, look, when x is 3, y is 6. When x is 4, y is 8, right? So, the other point, 4 comma 8, right? That's this one. Let me graph. Okay, how do I get from one point to the other? Look, I go up 2 over 1. Is that the slope I got? Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's find the slope here. Right.
How do
Okay.
you know to put 2 over 1 in the start?
No, she's saying that like.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, yeah, x1, y1, x2, y2. So how about this? I'm going to race you to it. So go. Go, go, go.
No, don't race me.
Okay. Make sure you've got your negative straight.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
Either.
Which one you put on top or bottom?
Yes, it has to be the y's on top. Yes, the y's must be on top. Jonathan, the y's must be on top. It's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So, the y's must always be on top because it's the y's on top over the run. The only thing you can change is if you want to swap the order left to right.
No, you can't.
But if you switch the top and the bottom, then it gets you the same
I
answer.
did it wrong.
Okay, Johnny.
Oh, what? I did it right.
Number A. Yeah.
Just add.
No. Like I actually did the negative. I'm going.
Yeah, it is negative.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. For one of your graphing?
So you can put it anywhere.
Yeah. It doesn't matter because you're going to put one there and one there. It doesn't matter what you do first.
You have to use that pattern.
Right.
When you graph it, you graph the numbers that are equal.
Yeah, we're going to graph these now. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I got 5 to the right, but not down.
Okay.
And then it's right. Yeah. That's what I got.
What? I did not get that.
So,
I got that.
okay. So now let's do this. Okay, Jonathan, now we connected those points, right? Now, no. Remember. Now, Jonathan, now look at what we're going to do. Jonathan, now we're going to see, did we find the right slope? How do you go from the point on the left to the point on the right? Well, you go down 6. You go down 6 and over to the right 5.
Yeah.
Okay, now, here's a little bit about negatives. So here we got 6 over negative 5. The point is that there is one negative. This is the same as negative 6 over 5. As long as you have one negative, it doesn't matter whether you put it upstairs or downstairs. So now, do you see how it's down 6 to the right 5? Or you could have done up 6 and to the left. Is it an emergency? Because let's do the next one too. Okay? And plus I have somebody out right now. Okay. Here. Let's do this one. Okay, let's do this one. M is, so x1, y1, x2, y2. 7 minus 7 on top. Negative 2 minus 6 on the bottom. So I get 0 on top, negative 8 on the bottom. What happens if you have 0 divided by a number? If you have 0 divided by a number, how much is that? 0. If you have 0 pieces of chocolate and you want to divide it among your 5 friends, how much does each get? 0. Okay? So let's graph this and see what it looks like. One point is 6 comma 7. When x is 6, y is 7. Next one, when x is negative 2, y is 7. I connect them, okay, and that's how it looks.
I got the same.
So now let's take a look. Rise over run. Okay, to go from one point to the other, how much do you go up or down? 0. How much do you go over? How much do you go over? 8. So 0, 8.
No, because you're going right.
Yeah, but you could also go left.
Okay, we always said from left to right. Okay, so take a look at this one. M is, okay, we have x1, y1, x2, y2. -1 minus 3 over 3 minus 3. On top I have -4. On the bottom I have 0. Now, this time when 0 is in the denominator, we can't divide that. We can never say something divided by 0. In this case, we say it's undefined. Okay? Undefined. If you say 0, it's completely wrong. It's undefined. So, let's graph those 2 points. And if I graph those 2 points, I have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. When x is 3, y is -1.
Wait, what did it go?
Okay.
Down?
My turn now. My turn. Listen. Now let's see. Okay, so now there is no left to right. So let's go from top point to bottom point. To go from here to here, I go down 4. And how much do I go horizontally? 0. So down 4 and not anything horizontal. So now is for the biggest idea in this lesson. So I need everybody's full attention. That means nobody's talking, you're just listening. Okay. Now, no, it's my turn. Hang on. I'm going to go back. You just have to, now you need to wait for me. Okay. Now, we did 4 examples. Look at this first one. The slope was positive, right? And if you look at the line, again, always from left to right. If you look at the line, it's increasing, okay? The next one, look, we got slope is negative. And if you look at the line from left to right, it's decreasing, right? So here it's going up, here it's going down. Positive slope, the line going up. Negative slope, the line going down. Then I got 0 slope. What kind of line did I get? Horizontal. I got undefined slope. I got a vertical line. So these are the 4 possibilities. Rising, falling, horizontal, vertical. Positive slope, negative slope, 0 slope, undefined slope. So now let's put it together in this box here. There are 4 possibilities. You can have positive slope, and the line is rising, right? It's sloping up. You can get negative slope, and the line is going down from left to right. You can get a slope of 0 and get a horizontal line. You can get undefined slope, and that's always a vertical line. Which means, if you're ever walking down the street and you see one of these lines, you've got to be able to say, Does it have positive, negative, zero, or undefined slope?
N equals positive.
Okay. Here, yes. Here, okay. What kind of slope do we predict here? Positive, negative, zero, or undefined? Positive. Okay, so let's see. Let's find the actual slope. Okay, we're gonna pick 2 points. To go from one to the other, I go up 2 and right 3. Okay, so listen to what the instructions are saying. It doesn't say give the sign of the slope. It says what is the slope. That means you have to find the actual number. But now that you know more information, you can guess and check to see if you're on the right track. You know that you should get a positive answer. Now you go and you find your slope. Up 2, right 3. Positive 2 over positive 3. Yep, that's positive, all right. Okay. Here, horizontal line, there should really not be a lot of work involved. When you see a positive line, you just say the slope is how much? Just 0. What sign do you predict for this one? Positive, negative, 0, or undefined? What do you think? It's going to be negative because it's sloping down. So let's pick 2 points. We're, 0. We're going down 2. That's negative 2. We're going to the right 1. So negative 2 over positive 1 is negative 2 over 1. And if we're dealing with slope, we leave it as 2 over 1. Okay? Yeah. Pick points that are on the grid corners.
Exactly on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Exactly like in a straight line.
Right.
Okay.
Well, yeah, that are, no, not on a straight line, but like, that are like on the corners here, right? So this point here isn't a good one because it's not on a grid corner.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah. Now, suppose you picked these 2 points. Look. Suppose you picked this one and then this one. Okay? Now what happens? You go down 4, and how much do you go right? 2. This is important. Look at what happens. So now it's going to be down 4, right 2. But can I leave it like that, or do I need to reduce it? I reduce it to what? Negative 2 over 1, right? So always remember to reduce. Okay, this one, you have a vertical line, and it's always undefined slope. Right. So, okay, so we're going to stop here for today.